Went to a book signing for CBK, Carolyn Bissett Kennedy, by Sanita Kumar. It's been 20 years since Carolyn Bissett went to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, but oddly, this is the first book written about her. Carolyn comes up on a regular basis as a person holding a particular place in the time of spare. Spare was defined as looking as if you had the resources to consume, but chose not to. It was kind of a negation. Sunita said art students, writers, and bloggers love Carolyn because she's a muse of making anything you want to out of her because she's almost not even there. We're all trying to get through this life without offending anyone. But if you're going to have any kind of a life worth living, someone's probably going to be offended. Welcome. Welcome to Sunday Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. At Sunday Coffee Hour, we talk about everything and nothing. This Sunday, we talked about having a discerning musical palette, fun things for kids, family friendly, stuffed pigeons, different versions of reality, cascading neurological impact, and how parents are just pictures on a wall. The readings at Washington National Cathedral were from Isaiah. We see Christ as a sacrifice because of our perversion of justice. And from Hebrews, we can't boast about not boasting, no matter how hard we try. The gospel reading was from Mark. We're arguing over the cup we can't drink. It's the best kind of argument to lose. The sermon at Washington National Cathedral is by Leonard Hamlin. Leonard preached about our concept of relationship and God's concept of divine relationship. We focus on our ideal human relationships and how things should be. We're often disappointed. There is an ebb and flow, trial and error, and action and reaction. We keep showing up each Sunday, faithful that something will give, something will change. We all want change. In the meantime, we're focused on our dissatisfaction with the way the world is. We want things to be better. Mr. Hamlin said preaching is a mixed bag, like trying to cross a busy intersection, dodging cars all traveling at different speeds. He said the Bible is the chronicle of our restlessness. Restlessness motivates us to keep on moving. We get stuck trying to hold on to power and control. These mechanisms keep us locked in human relationships of mutual expectation instead of experiencing divine relationship with and through God. We often think we're on the right track. Mr. Hamlin said white Christian nationalists think they're on the right track. It's a way of avowing one and disavowing another. At least we're not one of those. At St. James Cathedral, the sermon was by Christopher Griffin. Chris preached about today and not tomorrow. Today we have work to do, and tomorrow, the cup. The work can be as simple as a kind word. Chris said early in his career working with children, he learned that a kind word can make all the difference in a life. He said the Surgeon General recently said there's an epidemic of loneliness and grief in the world today. It manifests as anger and fear. It's a public health crisis. At St. James, the theme last Sunday was St. Luke, the physician, with a reading from the book of Sirach. God created healing, and he created doctors as part of the process. Chris said Luke is the only disciple with a sequel. It's called the Acts of the Apostles. Also, Luke was the faithful companion of Paul, always, even when the going got rough. Chris said God entered into human history in the person of Christ. Christ and God interrupts human history still. He did it in the time of Christ, and he's doing it today. We don't need to rewrite the past or live in fear of the future. We need to live today. We're unhappy because we don't see things happening the way we think they should be. We can't change that. Today gets our attention when we see God in it. It's the best kind of now to have. Before John F. Kennedy Jr. dated Carolyn Bessette, he dated Daryl Hannah. Daryl Hannah was from a good Chicago family, and JFK and Daryl would be seen sometimes in the Gold Coast neighborhood and at the pancake house on Bellevue, right behind my apartment. When JFK, Carolyn, and her sister died in the tragic plane crash, my mom said, "Thank God he didn't marry Daryl Hannah, because now she'd be at the bottom of the ocean instead of Carolyn." It's hard to have feelings for people we don't really have a relationship with. And when what we know of them is more akin to a paper doll cutout, then it's even more difficult. Learning more at the book signing about Carolyn Bissett reminded me that God knows everyone, no matter how subtle our designer clothes. We have our human relationships and our divine relationships. And then we're invited to the book signing event. At this time, we're all becoming more aware of generational shift. I was reminded again of that this week, that the zeitgeist is the current mood of the day and that we are no longer part of it. Most of us were born in the 1900s, and we're living increasingly in a world populated by those from the 21st century. We're evaporating into the past and putting on this spare look of practically not being here anymore. At the book signing party, it was kind of a flashback to the 1980s, a time of style, elegance, and social interaction. We may not be part of the zeitgeist, but it's not over yet. Even Custer had one last stand. Yes, it's easy to be amused when there's nothing there, and it's easy to offend if you actually have something to say. We can bridge the gap between our human relationships and the divine. Christ made it possible, and it never goes out of style. If you would like to join us at Sunday Coffee Hours every Sunday at 12 noon Central Time on Zoom. I'll include my email in the description of this video. I'd be happy to send you an invitation. I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.